So tonight's supposed to be a -10 real feel, that's cold for us, very cold. So I've got a few things that I'm doing to help with the horses during this cold spell. And in case any of y'all need some tips, I'm just gonna tell you what I do. Patron here is body clipped. So he is double blanketed. He's got a heavy on with a neck cover, and then I've got a medium on top of that, and that should be good for him. Amigo here is in his 30s, so I wanted to give him a little extra protection too. He's got a medium weight on and then a high withered heavy blanket on top of that, and he is very hairy, so that should keep him just fine. And then all three of my little girls, they've got mediums on. They all have an exceptional amount of hair, but with these temperatures I just didn't feel comfortable with them being naked out here. So they've all got their mediums on for the first time this year, and that should keep them comfortable. I would say one of the biggest things to remember is hay. The hay is like a fuel to them, and so if you want them to stay warm, they need to constantly have access to that hay. So I'm going to make sure to give them extra tonight, and that should hold them over until I feed in the morning. Knowing that this was coming, I went ahead and completely topped off my troughs and filled those up because our hoses will definitely not allow for us to fill any troughs, and I don't want to carry buckets. But on top of that, all of our waters are heated. So I'm going to show you the trough heater that we use. They make different kinds, but this one's always worked really well for us. They just float right on top of that water. All of our pastures that we're using also have some sort of run-in shed for them to get out of the wind. That's very important during these cold nights. So they are 3-sided, and we make sure that all of our horses that are turned out together will go in the run-ins at the same time. So that we typically will hay them in those run-in sheds if it's going to be excessively windy. Now, I wanted to add that if there was any chances of precipitation, I do typically bring them in when it's really cold, but tonight's supposed to be very dry, so we just made sure that they had everything they needed. I hope that this can help any maybe new horse owners that wanted a few tips on how to keep their horse nice and warm in a cold spell. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks.